West Coast's premier podcast network.
Did you hear what she said? Did you know? What? Well, I heard. Man. Oh, no, he didn't.
Word on the street.
Girl, yes. She was twerking in the street.
And you and everybody else listening.
That's crazy. Hey, this is Nita Beee. Talks with Nita Beee. I'll be covering everything. Anything you wanted to know about, I got you. Let's talk about it on World Tuned Radio,
the West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hello, and welcome. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. You are tuning in to another segment of Talks with Nita Beee. And I am so excited to have this person right here, this young man right here with me, one of my best friends in my head and outside of my head, Mr. Gerald Garth. Please help me welcome him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Thank you so very much, Gerald, for being here, coming all the way from LA.
Yes. Wouldn't have missed it for you. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I feel so special when my friends do special and awesome and amazing things for me. And you have been one of those friends who have done just awesome and amazing things. Just when I call you, every single time I call you, you are available for me, literally. And we talk and we chop it up and we update and we come to, to the full circle, if you will. And I remember our last talk was about a month ago, I think, because this time is just really flying.
Yeah, like the whole concept of time gets so lost now. It's 1 month, 2 months, 8 months. But,
and we were talking and I was like, you ought to come be on the show. But I think I was asking you like a year ago, like, hey, you ought to come be on the show. You ought to come be on the show. And you were like, yeah, I'm going to come be on the show. And so finally, here we are on Talks with Nita Beee.
Yes, and timing is everything. So it worked out just the way it was supposed to.
Perfecto timing, to be exact. And so I want to start off with how we met. Yeah. So I was trying to do my aspiration of being a personal assistant. And my first client, if you will, is my good friend, Kim Yarborough. And she was like, okay, I'm going to let you do this. And I was really nervous. Remember, I was telling you I was shy?
Yeah.
So I was shy.
Yeah.
And I think we were in Inglewood, were we? At the club where Mr. Reynolds, his club?
That's near Lamert Park.
Yeah. So we were at a club and she was performing. And I was told to go downstairs and get something. And I was like, okay, like, okay. And this tall, dark chocolate, handsome young man was like, do you need anything? And I was like, yes, can you please help me? I need this. And he's like, yeah, I got it. Okay. And so that had begun the start of our friendship, because afterwards, I think we were downstairs and we were talking. And then from there, we kept in touch.
Yeah.
And I was I think it was like in 2014, 2015-ish, I was just coming out of something really dark and just trying to do something new and meet different people, new people. And it was a very interesting environment, to say the least. But Gerald and I, we kept in touch. You and I, we kept in touch. And throughout the years, because I'm looking now, before that, we were at the birthday party for Mr. Reynolds back in 2017, 18.
I think it was probably 2017.
Oh my God.
Because, when we met, I was a publicist and event producer. So I was all over.
And I would see him all the time at these events. And I was
I was running those events. So I was like, I know you. I remember you.
I was like, hey, Gerald, what you doing here? Like, okay, we meet again. And so we were meeting at I was seeing him at these events. And the last one was the birthday party, which was really awesome and amazing. It really felt like family there. And all the big dignitary celebrities were there, and and just everybody was just meshing and celebrating Mr. Reynolds. And so then after that, 2019, that we just found out that was the last time that we saw one another in Santa Monica. Yeah, we were in Santa Monica, and Victoria, who is in the studio today with us, because she got to see her Uncle Gerald. So, but yeah, we were there, and we literally stayed at Tender Greens until we got kicked out. Like, we talked and ate and laughed because I love him so much. He's like really awesome and amazing. His spirit you all is so beautiful and amazing.
Oh,
And
you got all the things to say. I love it.
I'm serious. These are true things. These are true things that, your spirit is just like, you just say the right things at the right time. It just happened because we were in the lobby, we were talking, and I was just kind of sharing with him, something that happened to me last night. And it was hilarious. And he was just like, girl, but anyway, I want to just talk about who is Gerald Garth. So we talked about how I met you and our friendship. So born and raised, you're not from California.
No,
you are from Louisiana.
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, my neighbor.
Born and raised in Baton Rouge. So I'm a Southern man.
Yes,
Southern man,
yes.
definitely
Mm-hmm.
Through and through. I moved to LA in 2013, actually.
Okay.
So just last week made my LA-versary. So
oh, really?
This is my 8 years in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, so I moved to LA as an actor and a writer.
See, he's getting ahead of me. I don't even need my cue cards. I never have to use them but I keep,
to keep the train on the track.
Yeah, you do. So I want to talk about that. So you were born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right next door to me, Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
When you were coming up, what did you want to be?
So a few things. It's really interesting. So I've always been a creative. So I come from a very creative family. My dad was a phenomenal artist. My brothers are all artists and musicians. And so I was sort of somewhere in between because my dad's side was very creative, but my mother's side has always been very sort of administrative. So, my grandfather was a principal and my great uncle was a principal and kind of, my grandmother was an accountant secretary. So I kind of
have that. Like
yes.
You're doing the arts and you're doing the admin stuff too.
That's
but
exactly
go
right.
ahead. I'm
yeah.
sorry so sorry.
When I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be an architect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, I was always a smart kid. And, I found my way kind of doing creative things, but in a way that was structured.
Yeah.
And so, architecture kind of was my thought.
Yeah.
But then as I lived life and kind of got connected to more experiences, I was like, well, maybe it's not architecture, but I thought it was really important to find something that kind of spoke to the fullness of who I am. So often, society would tell us just pick one thing and you have to stay there the rest of your life.
And that one thing, if I can just like interrupt in there, the one thing I know coming from my family, it was always like, okay, you're going to go to school and you're going to graduate high school and then you're going to go to college. There was like no other options. It's like college is the best thing. And that's the only thing that you're going to do. And so, that's great that you were able to.
I mean, it was definitely a journey because for me, my family, we didn't have a lot of money. And so even as a kid, I knew like, I want to do something to where I'm not poor.
Yeah. And I want to do something fun.
Well, my brain actually leaned more into, even if it ain't fun, I don't want to be poor because I've done poor and I don't like that. And,
right. Poor is not good.
Yeah. And, I think if we do society like a disadvantage to children, when we make them so early to choose a thing because I didn't even discover so much of the world until well into my 20s. Yeah. Yeah. And so, I got to college and started as an architecture major. Oh, wow. And it wasn't until maybe my almost my second year so I realized I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that was the one thing I told myself.
It wasn't going to make you poor though. Well, it was going to make you ching-ching.
But if you're not happy though, you're poor. Yeah, there's a certain richness that comes with fulfillment.
Amen.
Yeah. And so fast forward, I kind of channeled my studies into English and accounting.
Oh, wow.
And so like you mentioned, being able to pull on both sides of my brain.
Yes.
And so I worked as an accountant for about 7 years.
Wow, he good with that money.
Taught English for about 2 years.
He good with that grammar.
And then moved into nonprofit work and consultancy.
So he happy but poor. No,
but so much.
I'm just saying, with people probably it went over their head, but with nonprofit, like it's a good thing, a good organization, all nonprofits, but we just never have any money.
And you know what? That was one of my entrees into the work, is because I realized that there are a lot of passionate people who are doing it wrong. There's no reason we should be poor if we're centered ourselves around providing richness and fullness to people's lives. And so even with the team that I've grown, I've been grateful to see our team grow from 2 to 30 since 2017.
Wait, because we're going to get into that.
Yes.
We're going to get into that. So
but I want people to know don't have to be poor.
No, you don't have to be poor.
Nonprofit.
That's right. We're going to talk a little bit around that because I was I knew that you were in the entertainment industry, but I didn't know Color Purple, Raisin in the Sun.
Yes.
And then the other one was what was the other one? The Love Talk, was it? The a production that you were in? Love Talk or something?
Love in a Day, maybe?
Love in a Day.
Yes. Yeah.
I knew
that
it
was
had
a-
love in it. I'm sorry,
Right.
Gerald.
Yeah, so that was a show
Love
that
in a
went around the country.
Day.
It was a great show, yeah.
See, look at that. I was like, look at my friend doing these
Yes.
things.
And I'm still an actor too. You know, I
Wow.
just do some other things along the way. But
Wow, that is really
yeah,
awesome.
really grateful.
Yeah, and so you are an innovator, you are a publicist, you are a storyteller, a writer. I mean, you have your own company. I'm not going to say business. You have your own company. And so now I want to talk about that.
Sure.
I want to talk about you with the Garth Management Group,
Sure.
because I was showing Victoria the other night. I was like, look at Mr. Gerald, look at this. Like, wow. So let's talk about you with this, but your organization. But how did you get into that? How did you get into the Garth Management?
You know, thank you for asking. It was a real sort of organic experience. You know, I never really kind of envisioned that for myself, at least not in this capacity. You know, I've always, as a writer and sort of creator of things, knew I wanted to sort of all of those efforts to live under one umbrella. And so my thought was, and still is, you know, sort of looking at it as an enterprise. But how I got into the consultancy space with Garth Management Group was similar to what we just said. Like, I realized that there was a unique need of a lot of people, and I had the solution to what those people needed. And so working with, in the beginning, working with nonprofits, other innovators, other small businesses, and passionate people who, while they have passion and drive, have opportunities for skills, training, development. And so I was able to sort of connect with nonprofits, small businesses, houses of faith, and other passionate people to help
Just
build
networking.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
networking.
and even beyond networking, because, you know, when we look at strategic planning, what does that mean? And, you know, so helping individuals, you know, create sort of solid, sustainable structures for their passion, because we know this too. Passion alone don't pay the bills.
It does not.
And it's
And
only
it
so
only
long
goes a certain amount, you know, your passion
where you
runs
be
out.
like, I got to go ahead and get something to keep these lights on.
Yes, and keep the gas in the car,
and
and
keep me
you know,
from
to network,
jumping
to get
out
to
the window too, because it's
on.
exhausting when you have so little to have to go so far.
Yeah, you have so much in your heart. Your heart is big, your ideas are big,
but your pocketbook not.
But your pocketbook is like, I only got 58 cents. Like, how can I turn that over, make a profit? You know, so wow.
And so really built
awesome.
the brand, and to be able to in the beginning help shape, structure, build, and grow. And then
very productive.
Yeah. And then from there, looking at how to build organizational and leadership development too, because passion without skill is still
don't pay the bills.
Yeah. So if you feel good about something, but you don't know what you're doing, it's still a problem.
So let me ask you, so getting started with that, you're having to save your money, or how does that go? Like, you go to these different organizations and you teach the structure and you teach the productivity of that organization. How did you get started with that? Did you have like support from other local businesses, people that were like, hey, Gerald, we see your vision, we see what you're doing, and we want to jump on board? How did you financially, how were you able to get it off the ground?
So a few things for me, actually, as I kind of started to build my own entity, I still kept my day job. Okay. You know, and so I encourage people too, is like, well, you might not be able to just jump out full throttle. And so I worked 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and I built the bones for GMG from the evenings and weekends, and, you know, really looked strategically too, because, you know, just because you're spending a lot of time on something, that in and of itself doesn't make it effective. Right. And so I was looking at, well, how am I making the most of these after work hours, weekend hours.
Yeah.
And so,
and putting your time and stuff and actually, like you say, you're putting the money behind it, you're putting the time behind it. And a lot of people, they think, and a lot of our young people, I have to say, they think like if you want to start a business, okay, you quit your job and you just go full throttle with that. But you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, and there's so
it
much,
takes a lot of sacrifice.
There's so much pre-work that needs to happen
Yes.
too, even when it comes to educating oneself and
Yeah.
knowing the market and
Doing
knowing
your
who your
research.
audience is and building your own voice, because just because you have all this time now, you don't have anything solid to fill that time with. Yeah. And so we should always be constant learners, and so with so much access at our hands, even if we are looking to start a business, there's so much reading and workshops and YouTube videos, and there's so much you can do before you quit your job.
Right. Yeah. Because when you quit that job, make sure.
Because the timer is ticking like never before. I got such and such amount saved. And you just see that number going down.
Dwindles so
and
fast.
So that
you
in
need
itself,
this and you need that. And you got to get
the
license.
Expenses. It's just operations.
Yeah.
You need gas, you need paper, you need, next thing you
got to have that license, and you got to, be protected and bonded, and then you need people that start coming in under your umbrella, and then you got to pay them.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody doing a lot of volunteering.
It depends on what your brand is. And I know, so much, and I gratefully so can pull from sort of my experience as a publicist.
Yeah.
When you can get excited about something, it's much easier to get somebody else excited about it. And so that needs to be strategic too. If you are looking to build a volunteer base or a donor base or, potential clients, you have to be the expert first. And if people can't look to you for the solutions, for the answers, to feel good about this project, to see direction,
and if they
it's not
can't
gonna happen.
believe in you, then it ain't gonna happen. You're right.
And so even before $1 is attached, I say this all the time, people are connected to you before anything you have to sell them. So
that's good word. That's good. So publicist. Going back to that, because I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to be a publicist.
And I kind of stumbled into that too, quite honestly.
I know, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Talk about that. How did you stumble into being a publicist? Because you, young man, under your belt, like I've been to the party and I'm just like,
very grateful.
Oh my God. This is every time I hear Cheryl, from Encore, and I'm trying to think.
Oh, Cheryl Lynn.
Yes,
great friend.
I'm like, oh, she was at the party. And then I was able to go back. One of the favorites is oh my God, I see his face in my head right now. And I can't even think of his name, and I'm not going to say it until I remember it. I'll bring it back on after the break. But after meeting him, and I was telling him I was like, you wanted to be a pastor if you weren't going to be this. And he was like, how you know? I was like, okay, because I like you. Elgin Charles.
Okay,
Elgin yes. And I was like, can I take a picture with you? And he was like, yeah, man, come on. I was like, oh my God, he's touching me. You did that. You put that party together, and Chaka Khan's daughter was there, and just all of these prominent, awesome, amazing people were there. But how did you stumble into that?
Well, yeah, and I say stumble, but I'm a big believer in divine orchestration. So I'm grateful that Oprah says a quote that I have adopted that says that opportunity is when, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's not necessarily like, I'm lucky, but like being prepared for a thing. And when it comes, you can move right into it. So fast forward, how I even got connected to publicity is I mentioned I was in English, and so I was a journalist and still am. And a friend of mine back home, she has had a boutique PR firm.
Oh,
and, as a friend and supporter of hers, I was like, however I can support, let me know. And, a big part of kind of what was happening as we were like, developing content, revising things that really kind of tapped into my English brain. Fast forward, there was a growing portfolio of clients that she had. And she was like, well, can you help with this and, kind of take this on? And I didn't know nothing about at least in my head, but took on a couple clients, or one actually, and then one became another.
Mastered it.
And that was back home. I was in Baton Rouge and had developed a niche actually, and so interestingly, so my niche was like health and beauty.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the clients, and so kind of built that. Fast forward, moved to LA and got connected to, you mentioned Kenneth Reynolds, wonderful mentor and friend who we're actually celebrating the anniversary of his passing this week too.
Wow.
So,
oh my God. That is just wow, amazing.
Yeah. But he saw me in action. He saw me at a thing. Moving around. He was like, who is this person? I want to know him. And so he was like, who are you? And instantly I was like, this is who I am. This is my website. Blah, blah, blah.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah. And he was like, he gave me a couple small projects and saw what I was able to do with them.
Those were big.
Well, you saw the big ones.
To me, those were big. Even the one in the club was big.
But there were things I did before people saw. And that's for the audience too. Not everybody gonna see everything you do. Or they see the big thing and they think that's all it is.
Yeah.
By the time I had met you, I had probably done 24, maybe more, kind of here and there type things, just a little baby shower or kind of, running, getting coffee, and so it's like not
building it up.
Not despising those small beginnings. And again, going back to the relationship piece, people are drawn to who you are and what you bring. And publicists really have a nasty reputation. I've known publicists to be snappy and rude and you're not on the list and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so people would know, like, that's the nice one.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him or things like that.
Yeah.
And so got a lot of great opportunities kind of through those. Humbly so. Yeah.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Talks with Nita Beee right here on World Tuned Radio. And my guest today is Mr. Gerald Garth. We have been talking about who this amazing and awesome man is, and he's my friend, and I'm proud to call him my friend. We'll be back after this break, and we're going to continue talking and chopping it up. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Yay! My stomach is like freaking and growling, and I'm just like, okay.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Did you hear what she said?
You know what?
Well, I heard.
Man. Oh, no, he didn't.
Where on the street?
Girl, yes. She was working in the street.
And you and everybody else listens.
Crazy. Hey, this is Nita Beee. Talks with Nita Beee. I'll be covering everything. Anything you wanted to know about, I got you. Let's talk about it on World Tuned Radio.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
I just want to live forever. I just want my shit together. I just want to ride away. I just want to ride away. I just want
Instincts going low, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange. Wanna burn it down. What it is, what it do, hope. And everybody looking at me while I got them all in my sights. Picking them off, sticking them out, looking like daylight in the night. And I'm killing so many if they really want to get involved. And everybody falling from the elevator, now I'm Bray Rice in this. It's like I'm rice and take a bite, it's nice. And I have a nice time with it. By the time that it finds the way to the right side of him, not even a Heimlich can save him. A selective finger to you imbeciles. Tell me what's been getting into you, envy will kill you. She said I'm a dinner man, I've met a lot of women set up on my other men. I don't give a damn like a auto with no time to kill. I've been feeling like the opposite of work, it's a work. And I never been a purpose, it came to me. I just do what I love and it works for me. So I'm freaking every check, I put the money in the pushing, but it begun to the finish and the getting of it. But everybody know I'm working in the sea, I do it differently. So only time will give me everything that I deserve, my end.
Did you hear what she said?
You know what?
Well, I heard.
Man.
Oh no, he didn't.
Where on the street?
Girl, yes, she was working in the street.
And you and everybody else listens.
Crazy.
Hey, this is Nita Beee. Talks with Nita Beee. I'll be covering everything. Anything you wanted to know about, I got you. Let's talk about it on World Tuned Radio.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi, and welcome back to Talks with Nita Beee. I'm your girl, Nita Beee, your host, and I have a wonderful and awesome and amazing and my favorite of all times, Mr. Gerald Garth is here from LA, my friend, and my friend,
Yes.
Gerald.
Glad to be here. Thank you
Gerald
again.
from LA.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, so earlier we were talking about, thank you for being here.
Sure.
Earlier, Gerald, we were talking about you and just your upbringing and how success landed in your lap, so to speak. Like from being born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you wanted to be an architect. And you actually even tried to pursue that, or you attempted to, try to look into that, pursuing the architectural culture. And then you said, no, that's not going to work. And then found out today that you were an accountant. I didn't even know that. Like, so
I hadn't renewed.
Yeah. So you had to be really good with money. Is that true that to be an accountant? Because when people look at that, they always equate it with money, because that's what the first thing I did was like, oh, he's good with the money. Oh my gosh. And you got to have patience, like,
You definitely have to have
dealing with the
patience.
digits on that.
Yeah. So not necessarily have to be good with money, sort of cash, but definitely good
Math.
with, and managing money, such as, spreadsheets, formulas.
Oh my gosh.
And the work that I did too as an accountant, I've worked in insurance.
Okay.
And so I was very much, you used to call them bean counters, where, you have to find the penny and, reconcile. And,
oh, wow. That tedious 1 penny off.
I found systems to kind of manage that.
Oh,
but
wow.
it wasn't necessarily that I did not enjoy it, but I realized I needed to connect my work to my values. And so took that sort of lens of accounting and management and finance and moved it into the work that I do today.
You know what I see you as? Being really good as a realtor, like in real estate. Like
you
selling
gotta
those
like
houses.
people for real estate.
You say what?
You gotta like people to be a
Well,
realtor.
I can see
I'm
you
kidding. I
selling
like
some
people.
houses, like for real, taking some houses, some property off the market. I just see you swaying through these big, large properties, and you're, just
maybe to own them.
yeah.
my
But
multiple
I'm
properties.
just, seeing you showing the likes to the celebrities. I don't know why.
Well, thank you.
But I just see you doing that, like,
Well,
like,
I do aspire to
and over
public
here's
office,
the outside
so
pool, and
I'll have
you
a
know.
team
Yeah,
necessarily.
I'm
to be
gonna be on the team.
doing the work, but I'll have people working with me.
Yes. So we talked about you English. Now I know how to, when I text, I got to make sure I use the auto.
There's no judgment, but
I know it's
I'll
no
give
judgment.
your hands, just let you know this is
Be like,
TH,
Nita, stop.
right. Apostrophe are you?
Right, yeah. Too many run-ons. And like, girl, what you talking about?
Period,
But,
space.
Yeah. So that, and then publicist, and you're just doing big things in LA. And you said you just celebrated 8
8 years, yeah.
8 years
I wouldn't have guessed
being
that. So I'm
here.
very grateful. I told myself 2, maybe 3 years max.
See?
Yeah, because
And
my
then you were
acting,
gonna
I
go
was
back
on.
home?
No, I just knew LA wasn't for me. I won't even get into the story that got me here. But my
that's what I wanted to know.
my acting started on stage. I'm
Share
a stage
just
actor.
a little bit. Yeah, Color Purple.
And stage does not live in LA. So I told myself I would only be here,
Wow.
because at the time my craft was very sort of centered around working on stage. And so, but quite simply how I got here is as a writer, I submitted to a new writers contest years ago and made my way up the ranks in this contest, and they were flying me back and forth. And like
from Baton Rouge to LA?
Yeah, as a finalist. And I think on maybe the last time I was like, I like LA. I think I want to give LA a shot. And I thought my piece was going to win. So I was like, I'm going to be here anyway and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, it did not. And so I still came to LA.
That's okay.
Yeah. So that's how I got here.
You still made the second part of it. You wanted to come to LA. So you came here. You made it work.
And even still, I was there, so, that's why I always encourage people to seek broadly outside of themselves, because I saw stage, but gratefully so I've been able to do TV and film and radio. And so I only knew one thing. And so I only could sort of anticipate the one thing I knew. So life will position you for what is yours if you're open to receiving
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And like how you say, the opportunity and luck meeting together provides you with the success, whatever.
And the preparation.
Yes. Whatever is meant for you will happen regardless. So right now you are the program director at Ahmad.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Sure. Ahmad is Arming Minorities Against Addiction and Disease. We're nonprofit based in South LA and provide programs, services, and activities for people of color, primarily Black people throughout the county. And so those services include housing, continued education, leadership development, substance support, behavioral health support, legal support, and just a breadth of services that we see disproportionate impact among Black people.
Everything that we need, our people need in the community, making a great, powerful impact. Thank you so very much for that.
Sure.
How long has Ahmad been established? How long has it been around?
Sure. So Ahmad was technically founded in 2014. Ahmad was not funded for programming until 2017 when I joined the team. So Ahmad has gone from a two-man show in 2017 to almost 30 employees today. So a lot of rapid growth.
Here, the program director right here, the man. Yes. Oh my goodness. So is it just one branch, or are you distributed throughout the community, like Inglewood, Carson?
So we do have multiple locations.
branches.
We have our main office in Watts.
Okay.
We have a secondary office in Inglewood. We have transitional living houses. And so we have 4 houses throughout South LA.
That is so amazing.
And we also have satellite offices, one at LA Trade Tech in near downtown LA, and then one at an employment center near Compton. So, and our work too is expanding. We'll be and are looking forward to expanding into some national work. So we're really poised to see some more great growth.
Very much needed. And that is so amazing. And this is what I'm talking about. Awesome and amazing. Ordinary people. He's really not ordinary. Nobody's really ordinary, doing extraordinary things in the community. And this is something that our people need, because there are not a lot of resources for employment, for mental health, And
so often people just don't know what's out there too. So that navigation is really important.
Yeah. So that is really awesome and amazing. So our clock is counting down. It has been awesome and just a pleasure having you here. But before I let you go, I wanted to ask, so if you could do anything in the world other than what you're doing now, what would that be?
Nita, that's a great question. And quite honestly,
he probably already done it.
Quite honestly, I don't live in the space of what if. If I do want to see something happen, thanks be to God.
So what you gonna do?
I will align myself. I'm doing it already.
Okay. See, I told you.
And I'm just grateful too that I believe that each step along the way connects us to what's next. So I might not even envision what's for me. So I get out of the way. I say, what's for me?
Yeah.
Lord, align me to have it and be in position for it.
Okay, let me get the offering cups or oh my goodness. And now y'all see why I love this and the energy. And I just cannot wait because we're getting ready to go out. And I know I'm gonna have a good time. My spirit gonna be fed and my stomach
flesh
gonna be fed.
too, right?
So yes, I'm gonna
Spirit
be fed
and stomach.
all the way
S&S.
over, all the way around. So, Gerald, is there any shout outs that you want to say hi to people before we log off?
I want to first thank you for the invitation again. I'm so proud and excited for what you're doing.
Thank
You keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Shout out to my friend Victoria. She's in the
Over there on
studio
the couch.
tonight. Yes. Everything I've ever done, I've always carved out a space to thank my mother.
Yes.
So I thank my
you, Mom,
mother.
for having him.
Like literally. Right? Yes, my mom, Alicia Garth. I love you, Mom. And to, again, the viewers, I want to encourage you to be great, be yourself, know that, there's so much greatness ahead of you if you believe that for yourself. So it starts with how you think and what you think of yourself. So,
Amen.
And if you want to connect with me, you can find out more at www.geraldgarth.com. Also more about Garth Management Group at www.thegarthgroup.com. So love to hear from you, love to connect, and the best is still yet to come.
Amen. Yes, it is. And he is in my head because I was thinking all this stuff that I was going to tell him to say, like if people want to get in touch with you after seeing this, where can they touch bases with you at? Oh my gosh. So this has been really amazing. And it seems like it just flew by.
It does.
We had an hour and it's already gone.
Wow.
But anyway, you all, thank you so very much for always tuning in to Talks with Nita Beee, right here in Oceanside on World Tune Radio. And I am so happy and ecstatic to have awesome and amazing people like Gerald come on just to talk about awesome and amazing things that he's doing in the community. This is really helping our community all over. He's in Los Angeles and just doing amazing work. And you'll see him on TV again soon. So, out there in LA on the red carpet doing his thing, I'm sure of it. So with that being said, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. We will see you next time. Take care and God bless you. Bye, y'all.
Did you hear what she said?
You know what?
I heard.
Man.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Word on the street.
Girl, yes. She was working in the street.
Me and you and everybody else listening.
Crazy.
Hey, this is Nita Beee. Talks with Nita Beee. I'll be covering everything. Anything you wanted to know about, I got you. Let's talk about it on World Tuned Radio.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.